Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back. This is your hostess, Cindy Murray, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Kristen Hessler and Amber Jones.
Hey.
Hello.
If you haven't joined us before, we are three women who have a lot of different views. We are in different stages of our lives, and we have a lot of conversations about everything from very serious issues like mental health to fluffy things like your favorite flavor of Jell-O. So today we are talking about one of those fun topics, or at least I think so, and that is geocaching. And I know you, Kristen, and Amber have heard of geocaching because Kristen has done it with me before. But I know a lot of our listeners have not. So I'm just going to give a little brief explanation of what it is. So geocaching is a treasure hunt of sorts using a GPS-enabled device. And this started in the late 90s, I believe, with little handheld GPS devices, and people would go around and hunt for hidden treasures called caches. That's C-A-C-H-E, caches.
Not cache.
Yeah, not cache, yes, and or catch. It's not a catch either. It's a cache. And they're little treasures, and sometimes they can be all kinds of different caches. Like it could be a virtual cache of a perhaps a statue or a monument or something, just to bring your attention to that location. And then there are sometimes little small hidden things like maybe a film canister or an ammo box or something like that, hidden out of the public eye. And then you go find it, and usually inside there's a log book that you sign. And sometimes there's some treasure that you take a treasure, leave a treasure. And this is something we started doing as a family back in the 90s when we first heard about it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. In fact, my husband and I set up a cache that we maintain that's a virtual cache. And I'll link on the Heard It on the podcast how you can connect to my geocaching account. But I wanted to kind of open this up to you guys. This is one of my favorite, I don't want to say summertime hobbies because it's too hot in Texas to do it in the summer. But I try to do it whenever I travel. I'm not always successful at it because a lot of times I'm with other people and we don't have time to stop. But we used to do it, around town, and if the weather's permitting, we'll go beat the bushes in a local park and we found some really cool things, even just here in our local neighborhood, like a little hidden gem of a cemetery that, with historical markers, and we had no idea it was there until we went geocaching. So, Kristen, I know you went geocaching with us those first few times. Have you done any since then on your own at all? Or?
No, I haven't. So when we first started geocaching, this was before smartphones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And,
definitely.
This was really like the only way that you could get directions without just a paper map. It's longitude, latitude.
Yes, longitude and
right?
latitude, yes.
Yeah. And I remember y'all's first...
we still have that GPS. We still
GPS
use it.
device. Yeah. It was literally not even like a light up screen. It was just like
it was a quartz,
like an old Nintendo looking kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, liquid quartz display.
And I remember not being like old enough to hold it because I remember it was pretty expensive. And my dad was like the GPS hog. So.
He was. Like, he would not let anybody. He is the
he
worst navigator.
Was the navigator. He was the one holding that.
And
thing.
he was the worst navigator of all of us. Yeah.
So we were all just kind of like tagging
along
the ride. Yeah. So it was like whatever surprise we were gonna find. So,
But we did do the hunting though, because once you get to the location and the GPS tells you
yeah, I
it's here,
remembered like
there's
you would go on
usually
the
some
website and there was
there's
some
usually
clues. So it's
clues,
kind of like a scavenger
and you
hunt
have
in a
to
sense.
decode the clues, and then when you get there, you're still like having to hunt visually for this thing, and usually they're camouflaged with some duct tape or something, so they're kind of hard to find.
And they're usually kind of like hidden
Yeah, in fact,
in nature.
yeah, in fact, there was one that we looked for. It took us a long time to find it, and it was actually a fake log, and it was hidden in a pile of a bunch of fallen trees and timber, and we overlooked it for 20 minutes because we thought it was one of the logs. So, yeah. But I enjoyed doing that. Did you enjoy doing that? Or
I think I would have enjoyed it more had I been able to be more in control of it.
Yeah.
Because and I was also like
15,
18, 19,
18, yeah.
and 20 because it was when we went like to the Galveston that one time that we did it.
Well, I thought you did it with us in Lubbock too.
No way. I think one time we went to like a virtual one.
Yeah.
I only remember seeing like one where there was actually like treasure swap.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that I was in college when y'all were really.
Oh,
doing
that's
that a lot.
true.
So
you
it
were
was probably
because I remember
Steven that went with you a lot to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, like I think it would have been more fun if we all had our own GPS devices at that point.
Yeah.
And had
well, and nowadays they actually have a phone app for your smartphone.
Yeah, it's
so
like so different.
everybody
That's
can
very
can
advanced now.
Yeah, and you used to have to look on the website and get the coordinates and plug them into your device and then go out and look for it. But now, because of the smartphone app, you can have the clues right there with you.
Yeah,
it's a lot more streamlined, but it's also grown so much that it's literally all over the world. I mean, countries all over the world have geocaches, so you can literally go on. I keep saying literally. You can go on vacation and just go find caches all over the place. So I thought that was really cool. Have you ever done it at all, Amber?
It has been on my bucket list for something to do that sounded interesting to me probably since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since I was like 18, 19. The closest thing that I guess I've ever done to geocaching would be rock hunting.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, my friend Stacy and I and her parents, or mainly her mom and her older brother, we would go out to different. Her mom had a rock hound or whatever book,
Mm-hmm.
and we would go out to different places in Texas and do rock hunting and try to collect rocks.
That's one of the things on my bucket list. A lot of people kind of compare it to also like Pokemon Go.
So I was literally going to say that because when I
Because
downloaded that app and I started playing it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's geocaching, but it's virtual."
But it's all virtual.
It's all virtual geocaching.
And
so
I wanted to play that. Do
Go.
they
It's
even
fun.
still play that?
Oh yeah,
it
it's
is still
fun.
out there.
It's fun.
Okay.
Oh, it's everywhere. Like there are even like places that I guess like they tag places that are like really heavy for finding Pokemon in downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the Pokemon Go game, there's if there's a point of interest or some place that someone thinks other people might enjoy looking at when you're so Pokemon Go is fun to like explore your neighborhood, but it's really fun when you take it like on your vacation.
Well, which is what we did with the geocaching.
Yeah, and you play
or
it
if you
while
join
you're
an
out
event where there are a bunch of people around
playing
doing
at the
Pokemon.
same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, the Pokemon Go game, it is fun when you go on like your vacation because you can see those virtual caches in Pokemon Go, and
Right.
then they kind of take you to those destinations, and then at the same time, like you can collect all of the Pokemons too,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all geotagged. So when you collect them and you go back home, they have the marking of where you picked them up at.
Right,
Like,
right.
and
Wow.
in Pokemon Go, they have like regions and stuff. So like different parts of like Texas, so it's a big state, right? So we've traveled on all the points of Texas, and so I've collected Pokemon in all the different regions in Texas. So it's kind of cool, like little
Okay.
trophies, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
There was another game that was very similar to that before Pokemon, and it was called Faction, I think.
Hmm.
And there was the
I
red
have
faction
not
and the
heard
blue
of that.
faction. And
I
when
haven't
you-
either.
When you logged into the game, you chose, are you red or blue? And it was like a global capture the flag.
Oh.
And there was a point right over here at this Murray
It
Huey
sounds
school.
political, red and blue.
Yeah, the school over
Uh-huh,
here,
uh-huh.
that was one of the flags.
Oh,
So
okay.
if it was occupied by blue and you ran over there and you had to actually like walk over there
Uh-huh.
to the point and
Okay.
capture the flag there,
Oh.
and you could hold the flag.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and it was a game where like you had to walk. So you actually, and same thing with Pokemon, like in order to hatch the eggs and
You
stuff, you
have
have
to-
to actually like physically be walking.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
great for exercise. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
way to get out and get
Gets
exercise.
you out,
Which
and
is the
gets
same
out.
thing with
point.
the geocaching, because you can follow the trail just so far with your bike or your car or whatever, but there comes a point where you
Mhm.
have to get out and walk through the park or whatever to go find your cache. I was going to talk about some of the different kinds of caches there are in geocaching. So I mentioned virtual caches. When we went on vacation to Galveston as a family one year, we geocached the whole time we were down there, and we did. We found several statues on the seawall that were monuments to the Great Storm and things like that. And one of the really interesting ones that we found that was hidden, you would never know it's there, is the remains of Jean Lafitte, the pirate's mansion, La Maison Rouge. And it's like on this industrial part of town, and it's crowded between these other little buildings, and there's barely anything
Rubble.
left of its rubble. But there's a historical marker there, and I would never have found that otherwise. And it was really interesting. We also found some of those kind of things, on the road, in different places, going back and forth to Lubbock and things like that. And then we've also found, like I said, some of the physical containers that have little things like buttons and army men and stickers and different things like that you can trade with people. And I always keep a big stash of like McDonald's toys and stickers and things like that I can take with me to use to trade in those caches and stuff. And then there's also like webcams, so you can geocache to find webcams, and that will you can get on your webcam, and then it gives you the link to go find your picture on the webcam and or you can get someone else to get online and snap a picture of you at the corner of Bourbon Street in New Orleans or whatever. And so those are kind of fun too, just little mementos of your vacation. And like I said, you get to see a lot of cool things. There's several other different kinds of caches. Some of them there's things called multi-caches, where you go to one and it gives you a clue to find the next one. And then it gives you the clue to find the next one, and
Like
you
a
kind of go
scavenger
through.
hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are a lot of fun. I'm trying to think what other kinds of there are reverse caches. I can't remember what they're called, but like one year there was a thing where they were collecting the coordinates of all the Boy Scout camp gateways. And so whoever set up this reverse cache wanted you, when your Boy Scout troop went to summer camp, take a coordinates of your gateway and then post it. That way they could keep track of all the Boy Scouts that were camping or whatever. I thought that was kind of fun. There was also another one where they were looking for speed limits over 75 miles an hour, which there are some. So they wanted geocaches coordinates
Where
for
you saw the sign.
where you saw the sign. I don't know if those kinds still exist. I think they do. There, like I said, there's all kinds of different caches, but I love the fact that it gets you out. I wish it wasn't quite so hot here because I love doing it. I haven't done it in a long time. We tried to do it this summer while we were out camping when we did our little RV trip, but it was just so hot. Nobody really wanted to get out and walk, so we didn't do that. But there's a lot of really fun ones to do, and I just kind of wanted to bring that out as a fun, maybe fall activity. Because the weather starts cooling off, and that's a great way to get yourself outdoors and get moving again.
So what's their? Is it like an organization or?
There's a website. It's a nonprofit organization called Geocaching. I think their actual website is geocaching.com, and you could set up an account. And they, as I mentioned, I have an account there. And my moniker is Borg Billy. That was the one that my husband and I set up. So we are the Borg Billy Collective, and so we set that up. And you can look for us. And we've got one virtual cache that's near the Dallas area. I won't tell you where it's at. You'll have to go look it up. But it gets a lot of hits. So it was a fun one that we found one day while we were out picking Kristen up from college, I believe. And we saw it and thought it would make a worthy virtual cache. And so we did. And like I said, we found some true gems, even just in our own neighborhood. So I really like doing it.
I've now, like in the summertime or whatever, like I never think about it anymore. I used to when I was younger, when I didn't have time, and now I just never think about it anymore.
Well, we used to do it quite a bit more than we do now, and then we got really busy and we kind of quit doing it. And then about the time that we got interested in it was when Mark started not feeling so great, and we tried to go out a couple of times, but it was just too hot in the summer, and then he was feeling too poorly to go. So I've kind of made it one of my incentives to get me back out again, me and the dog, to go out and go do some of these, and just like I said, to motivate me to get outside and walk around more, because I need the exercise. The dog needs the exercise, and it's a fun way to do it. And it's super competitive. If you want to make it, you can make it as competitive as you want. I know people who've done thousands of caches, and I've had not nearly that many, but it's still fun. It's a lot of fun.
So there's one on Apple called Geocaching, and it's what's the little R? Reserved? The little circle, the
registered.
R. Registered, thank you.
Trademark.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, what's that? On Apple apps, it's called Geocaching.
Yeah, that's probably the one I have.
I think it is. So it's got 4.8 ratings out of 56,000 ratings. It's a 4.8, so a lot of people really like it, and it's number 9 on navigation apps. Number 19 on navigation apps. Yeah. So I mean, to me, there's like quite a few navigation apps out there. To see it as number 19 ranking, that's pretty awesome. Like,
I love it. The app is really easy to use. I think it uses like the Google Maps base.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And then it shows you. I mean, I'm looking right now, and there's dozens of caches in my neighborhood, right in the park, right near me, and that I haven't gotten yet. So I'm like, I need to go out and get those. But they're a lot of fun, and like I said, it's really easy to use, and if nothing else, it gets you outside and doing something,
Yeah, definitely.
So I know this isn't geocaching, but to me, it kind of falls in that same like treasure hunting
Mm-hmm.
category. Because to me, I think of geocaching as like
A scavenger
finding
hunt.
secret treasure, like pirate treasure.
Pirate
Like, to me,
treasures.
I always loved that idea of finding secret treasure. And my husband is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he loves to do that I've fallen in love with doing is metal detecting.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so fun to me because you can do that anywhere, and you just get your little metal detector out there and you just wave it around on the ground. And we took that with us camping one time. And I mean, obviously, like, you're not going to find much on like the, preserved trails where there's
Right.
like minimal impact footprint. But we actually used it near the place where we were fishing, and we found all kinds of stuff, and we found money, like
Oh yeah.
quite a few coins
Yeah.
on the ground, and
What else did y'all find besides money?
a lot of beer caps and a lot of soda
Big
tabs
surprise there.
and a lot of hooks.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of hooks.
People have
'cause
lost their
there was
fish hooks.
fishing. It was like a lot of fishing hooks, and mostly it was beer caps, fishing hooks, and tabs,
Yeah. Mm.
and pieces of soda cans that
What-
got chopped up
Oh, yeah.
in the lawnmower.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What you were when you started talking about that, it reminded me of something else that someone we know participates in, and that
Magnet
is
fishing.
magnet fishing.
Yep.
And that is a very unusual thing. It's kind of a treasure hunt. It's like metal detecting,
Mhm.
but they use these heavy duty magnets, and you go to any body of water, river, lake,
Mhm.
whatever, and you cast your little magnet out there and see what you pull up. And these guys pull up working cell phones, lawn chairs, fishing tackle, and things
Car
like that.
parts.
Car
and, yeah.
parts, yeah.
Interesting.
All kinds of crazy,
I
crazy
think
stuff.
they found a gun one time, didn't
Yes,
they?
they did. Yes,
Yeah.
they did. They found all kinds of crazy things, and they've talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah,
so.
Travis follows some people on YouTube that do magnet fishing too, and they're always retrieving crazy stuff.
It's
out of
crazy,
the lake.
yeah. She told me that they had done like I don't remember how many phones they had, like dozens and dozens of phones that they've retrieved out of lakes. I'm like, do people just get mad and toss their phone in the lake, or does it fall off the boat and then it just washes up? And they've said that even sometimes they've even still worked because
Yeah.
the newer phones are kind of
Mhm.
waterproof. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, all of those kind of treasure hunt type scavenger hunts. I love
Mhm.
scavenger. I've always loved scavenger hunts, and those are a great way to get outdoors and do things too. And you don't have to.
Well, they have those like outdoor scavenger
Oh,
hunt
yes.
apps that or like events that
Mhm.
come
We were
locally. You can do.
We
like
were
a
supposed-
that was
scavenger
for
hunt
Vegas,
thing.
and we didn't get
and
to
we
do
didn't
it.
get to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, through
They have a
Quest.
lot-
Was it Quest that
I
did
think
that?
so.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
around here they have one called Clued Up
Oh, yeah?
Games. And they're usually themed like Alice in Wonderland
Yes.
or something like that. And it's like, I want to do them. And, when they do like the advertisement for them, they're really kind of cool, but then like I'm just like, well, if I want to do this, I want to dress up like Alice in Wonderland and like go around and do it.
Yeah, that.
And
would
I
be
want
fun.
everybody else to do that too.
Yeah.
That's doing the event.
But those do sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, we tried to do one in Vegas, but it was so hot, and we wound up not doing it. And
It was
This
also
is
during
the lesson
COVID.
of
it was
the
also
time.
during COVID. Yeah, we
Don't
ran out
do
of time.
geocaching in the summer. It's
Right.
too hot.
Never geocaching.
Remember that time that we pulled over? It was like
That was
It
the
was
Galveston
in
coming back
Galveston?
from Galveston. Yeah,
and it was like we had
I know
crossed the
exactly which one you're
bridge,
talking about.
And I'm like, I always want to call it like Tiki Town.
It's
or
Tiki
something.
Island.
Tiki Island.
Tiki
okay.
Island. Yes.
It's kind of marshy right there, And it's like the space between Texas and the island of Galveston. So
Yeah.
I mean, which is also
It's like
Texas,
these
but-
little islands, and and they've
but
built
it's very
up these
marshy there.
yeah, and they've built up these houses on platforms and stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, so on the side of the road there was where this cache was, and it was like in the reeds in that
Yeah.
marshy area.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, he pulled the car over and went to go look, and then like, I mean, the reeds were tall. There's reeds. I don't know what they were. They were really tall. They were like
Almost
his
as tall as
waist
him,
or
yeah.
his shoulders. Yeah. And he's like in the weeds, literally.
Yeah, looking for this cache,
And
right?
then all of a sudden he comes
comes
running
running
out and his arms are flailing everywhere. And it was like mosquitoes.
It was full of mosquitoes, and they were just swarming
Like
him.
all
Yes.
around him. They were
Yes.
like, yum, 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 yum. Yeah.
We haven't seen a people in like
Yeah,
since
forever.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was crazy. So you do have to kind of watch
I
out.
think that was the last geocache that I went to.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we did some more after that because we saw some other kind of fun thing. We saw like a live armadillo, like the only live armadillo I've ever
They're
seen.
always dead. when
They're
I-
always
Yeah,
dead on
they're
the side of the
usually,
road
yeah.
in Texas. And but we actually saw one. It walked right up to us and was sniffing our feet.
That's our
Because
state
they're-
animal, by
they're-
the way.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not from
kind of
Texas.
they're kind of blind, and they don't really know what they're looking for. But he was just walking across the trail, and he just walked up to us. Okay, and then just kept going. It was crazy, but
Weird.
yeah.
I almost got run over.
Yeah. We did find we've seen some interesting things besides the armadillos too. But Kristen was pointing out that there are how many?
So, according to their website, they have over 3 million in the world.
3 million caches.
Caches, yeah.
Not participants. Caches.
Caches.
Okay.
yes.
And there's over 6. How many? How many did you say?
There's there is close to 6,000 just in the area
In the
from where
DFW
we
area.
are recording.
Okay. That's pretty
Maybe
cool.
not the DFW area, but just like,
Yeah.
probably within
Oh,
30 miles from here or
okay.
something.
Okay. So do we know, does it show how many participants there are?
Well, okay. That app had 56,000 reviews on Apple.
That's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's many
That's
people
why
have
I was
reviewed
like,
it,
wow,
yeah.
there's a lot of people using this app. That's why I was impressed that it was the number 19 app in navigation. on
Right.
Apple.
And ranked a 4.8 or
4.8.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that tells you there's a lot. If that many people have reviewed the app itself, there's a lot of people using
Yeah,
it.
because
so.
most people use apps
Come a
and they
long
don't
way
They don't
in
review
like
'em.
21 years.
Yeah. So fun.
Very fun. Well, I downloaded it and I got a little profile and there's literally
Cool.
a cache right down the street from you. So
Yeah, there's a lot of them right around here.
I
So
might
I'm
check it
I'm
out when
anxious
it
to-
gets cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of want to check out Pokemon Go now.
I do
Dude,
too.
You should. It's fun. You should. I mean, it's not like
My husband plays it all the
the
time.
coolest video game on your phone, but it's pretty fun. I mean, I don't play it like all the time. I just whenever I'm in a new place and I think about it, I'm like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna play Pokemon.
Well, like I said, I like those kind of things because they actually get people out and doing. Yeah, we do obviously have to take some safety measures, like we were talking about the mosquitoes. That's probably like one of the smaller things. There were when people first started playing Pokemon Go, there were people that were getting hit by cars and stuff.
Oh
because,
my gosh.
Because they weren't watching where they were going. They were only looking at
When
their screen.
it first came out,
Yeah.
I was a police dispatcher
Yeah.
at the time, and we would get so many 911 phone calls of suspicious people or
Oh.
suspicious groups of people,
Walking around with their
like
phones.
like behind a church at midnight because I worked
Oh.
overnights.
Mhm.
And I would send the police to go investigate these quote unquote people that were breaking into a church. And it was just people in the parking lot playing Pokemon Go
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny.
at midnight, of course.
Yeah. Well,
It's just
because
like don't play it in the middle of the night. That's a
you can play it in the middle of the night,
Well, I
but
mean,
use
the-
some common sense. Being a
yeah.
and-
Don't
be
go
sneaking
into an
around behind the
abandoned
church.
or whatever, or don't sneak around in somebody's neighborhood.
Yeah. Don't go in. Don't go in people's private property. Same thing with the geocaching. If you're going to leave a geocache, make sure that it's okay with the owner of the property or whatever. Don't don't go in someone's private property. Look for a geocache, things like that. You need to be aware of people, vehicles. When you're keep aware of your surroundings and things like that. So.
Common sense.
Yeah,
sure.
just it really is common sense. Just like if you're hiking or walking or doing anything, you wouldn't go to the park in the middle of the night, probably. So, don't go, yeah.
When I was younger,
know.
I used to
There's
do that all the time.
I see people jogging in the park all the time at night, even though the park's supposed to be closed at 10 o'clock. But anyway, that's it for this episode. It's a little short one. I just wanted to introduce this idea because, like I said, we're coming into the fall. I love things like this that are, fun and get people outdoors and get people moving, and it's just a great way to do that. So next week, Amber, what are we talking about?
Next week, we are talking about personality types, the Enneagram personality types.
Oh, yay. That'll be exciting. I want to know more about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to discuss our personality types.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this week. Check us out on MMC Chat and on our website, modernmusings.net. You can go back and listen to all of our previous podcasts there. You can read our blogs. If you go over to our MMC Chat, we often have polls and discussions there. We'd love to have you get in on the discussion. We want to hear from you. Give us some likes, subscribes, all that jazz. And we'll be back next week with a discussion about Enneagrams. Bye.